There's a changing of the guard at the Westchester County Airport.
Larchmont has big plans to create more open space.
Parking permits are going on sale in the village of Mamaroneck.
I'll have a report on the finances of Westchester County.
And we will take one more look at the Mamaroneck school budget for 2002-2003. Those stories and more right here on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News Show for the fourth week of May 2002. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story. Residents in our area will get out and vote on Tuesday, May 21st for the Mamaroneck school budget. With just minor adjustments made to the proposed $75.6 million budget, taxpayers will be looking at a 6.4% tax increase. As of the taping of this program, we do not have results of the budget vote, but if passed, property owners will pay $450.30 per $1,000 of assessed property value. This equals about $9,006 for someone who is assessed at $20,000. Residents who qualify for the STAR program will pay $407.05 per $1,000 of assessed property value. The tax rate hike is lower than most Westchester school districts. The budget includes funds for 6 new teachers, preparations for state regents exams, textbooks, and monetary insurance for the Center for Continuing Education. The budget will also allow for improving the school district's technology by incorporating more computer use in the classroom. The increase factors in a multi-year plan to repay $49.7 million worth of bonds taken out last year as well. The average taxpayer will pay about $542 more than last year if the budget is passed. Polls are located at Chatsworth, Central, Mamaroneck, and Murray Avenue schools and will be open on Tuesday, May 21st from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Voters will approve or disapprove the budget as well as elect April Farber and Amy LaVere, 2 uncontested members to the Board of Education.
According to Westchester County Executive Andrew Spano, in a review of the financial situation in the county, it is not the county's spending that is out of control, but New York State's spending. The county executive stressed that every dollar raised by county property taxes and 1/4 of all money raised from the county sales tax goes to state-mandated programs beyond the county's control. Spano said, "We must find a way to pay for our police, our parks, our health programs, and our programs that continue to ensure that everyone can partake in our quality of life. Because of the economic recession, the events of September 11th, and uncontrolled state programs, we're facing a $70 million deficit in the county budget next year. We didn't create this problem, but we're going to solve it." Spano calls for the state to act and rein in programs which keep growing by millions and millions. He gave some examples of mandates beyond the county's fiscal control. New York State requires counties to pay 50% of the state's Medicaid bill. These programs now cost Westchester taxpayers more than $170 million, or 48.6 cents of every county property tax dollar collected. The state has mandated special education programs for children with disabilities, and these cost Westchester taxpayers $42 million, up 78% over the last 4 years, or 12 cents of every county property tax dollar collected. Other state programs like the PENS program for dealing with juvenile delinquents and the fact that the county must keep state parole violators in Westchester jails cost county taxpayers another $4.4 million, or almost another 2 cents of every county property tax dollar collected.
Well, Larchmont has named 5 residents to a newly formed ad hoc committee on the issue of open space. The committee is made up of residents Tom Stewart, Judy Santamaria, Philip Comerford, and Nick Newman. Their goal is to meet regularly to seek out areas that could be preserved as open space, assess the feasibility of acquiring land, and determine what financial implications purchasing it would have on the village. However, ultimately, any decisions about open space would have to be made by the village board.
Democrat Nita Lowey, who represents the 18th Congressional District in Washington, may soon see a shift in her district's borders. Currently, her district includes parts of the Bronx and Queens, in addition to a large section of Westchester County. Under a redistricting proposal, Lowey would gain additional sections of northern Westchester County and portions of Rockland and Putnam counties. This proposal is not the only one, and some believe that the process will not be completed in time for the next election. Alyssha?
Well, Chef Johnson will be hosting the 13th annual LMC-TV Awards Night Extravaganza. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Amy Schechtel spoke with Chef Johnson about what he's cooking up for this year's show.
Chef Johnson, you've been all over LMC. How many shows do you have running?
Well, Amy Schechtel, I have my one principal show. I have appeared on a couple of other episodes of various programs, but my television show, which is called Up in Johnson's Kitchen, runs on Wednesday nights on LMC-TV, and as well as Friday and Saturday and Sunday nights as well at 9 p.m.
How long has your show been running?
We're going on, well, it must be getting close to about 2 years, I would say.
2 years. And
2
how
years.
many shows do you think you've done?
Boy, that's a tough one because, you know, we do so many shows, but what happens is sometimes the cooking gets so hot that some things just ain't exactly suitable for public television. So we have quite a number of episodes that have been done that do feature quite a few I would say risque type of things, which didn't intend to be that way, but you know, sometimes you cook in, things get hot, things get greasy, and there ain't no telling what's going to happen.
Hey, we'd like to have a private screening of those one day.
Well,
what do you
you
think?
know, one day we're going to work on that. We're still, from what I understand, there's certain negotiations going on with Cablevision to make all this kind of thing more acceptable, I guess. But being that we are still looking to not only educate but also entertain the entire members of the family, we do have certain restrictions. Perhaps we're going to go for a late night edition where maybe we can...
Well, you have educated, you've definitely entertained, and you've brought some terrific shows to the LMC network. And I understand that now, after all the time spent doing your own show, you've been asked to host another show. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
I would. Thank you very much. I'm very happy about this. I'm very excited about this. This is going to be a wonderful TV show. It's going to be a wonderful live event. And what we're doing here is the LMC-TV, the Larchmont
13th annual.
It is the 13th annual.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I have lost track. Somewhere around 10, I suppose.
Sometimes when you're having a good time, that's easy.
It happens sometimes because, you know, it's hard to count. I got 10 fingers, and after that, I get a little confused.
What? Some people do use their toes, but a chef wouldn't do that.
Well, chef, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because we're very much into cooking. We're all about cooking for fun and cooking a lot of good, tasty stuff, but it is important to be sanitary. And I want all the young, aspiring chefs out there to keep that in mind, that sometimes you may be tempted when you're cooking and you might say you're trying to figure out a certain number of ingredients and you may lose track because you run out of fingers. Please, resist the temptation to use your toes because what ends up happening is it makes it an unpleasant experience for you. I don't have to go into that.
Thank you so much for passing that piece of information along to our up-and-coming chefs. Let's get back to the 13th annual award show for LMC, which will be at the Emlyn Theater, and it will be on Wednesday. And let's see.
It's Wednesday. That's May 22nd.
May 22nd.
If I have not run out of fingers, and I got that correct. And this will be at 7:30 p.m. Sharp. The admission is free. We have a wonderful, wonderful musical.
What's cooking?
That's right. Good looking. You hear what I'm saying?
Thank you.
The musical guests we're going to have, well, there will be several musical guests, but the main band that we will have is It'll Get Better, which is a fine musical outfit.
We love them.
You must have seen them on LMC over the years. They do a fantastic job, and they always put on a good show. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And what this program is all about is it's an award show where the LMC staff and the entire community involved presents awards to various people that have worked on shows, that have produced their own shows, that have volunteered for various programs, all around, who have contributed in one form or another to the mission of LMC, which is to produce fine television for the community.
Well, your two key words there are volunteers who have contributed their time and doing something they enjoy doing. And that's why we're here. That's what we like to do. So now's a chance for us to just sit back and celebrate and be entertained. But are you going to be cooking?
Well, you know, that was brought up. Could I be cooking? I would absolutely love to do a little cooking, maybe just kind of spread the aroma, if you will, out through the auditorium, through the community.
Through Mamaroneck.
Exactly, but being that we do have time constraints, we're gonna have to save that for another time. But I do look forward to doing some cooking programs and demonstrations, if that may be. This particular show, I might add, is free to the public. We do encourage everybody in the community, and even in other communities, if you know somebody that ain't in this community and you might want to invite them just to come out for the night, it's going to be a fun time. And basically, we're going to have a good time, and we would like everybody to come on out and check it out. It's going to be at the Emmeline Theater, Wednesday, May 22nd, 7:30 p.m. And it is free, so please do come on down, folks, and say hello, and we would like to see you.
And at this show, this year's recipient of the Mary Ann Sullivan Award is the executive producer of this program, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Jeff Montanaro has been working on this program since its inception in 1989, and he is the heart and brains of the news show. Congratulations, Jeff. It's well deserved. To see the live cablecast of the LMC-TV Awards show and the presentation of the award to Jeff, please tune in on Wednesday, May 23rd at 8 p.m. on Channel 71, or come to the Emmeline Theater.
So excited for that to happen.
Yeah, it's really
very
great.
well deserved. And
Been doing it
congratulations.
for 13 years. It's very, very long
We wouldn't be here without him.
That's absolutely right.
Well, there is literally a changing of the guard at the Westchester County Airport. For more, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
The 20 commercial airports in New York State will now be guarded by the police. In Westchester, 2 daily shifts of 2 soldiers had been stationed near the passenger screening area. Their role was to provide an armed presence. They have now been replaced with uniformed county police officers who will patrol the terminal during all hours of operation. Besides county police, local police, state troopers, sheriff's deputies, airport police will also be used to replace the National Guard. In the future, the Federal Transportation Security Administration will assign its own police force at airport checkpoints. The federal government will reimburse airports for the officers' salaries. For Larchmont Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
There was a holdup at the Cherry Lawn driving range. Here with the details is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Maura Carlin.
A 15-year-old Mamaroneck boy is accused of being part of a group of 3 masked thieves who held up the Cherry Lawn Golf Range on Weaver Street in New Rochelle. A range employee was pistol whipped and $10,000 was taken. Officials have charged Charles Tapia of Mamaroneck Avenue with first-degree robbery and first-degree criminal use of a firearm, which are both felonies. He is being held at Woodfield Cottage in Valhalla on $50,000 bail. Also charged are 19-year-old Adrian Ortiz of the Bronx and 24-year-old Rafael Toro of New Rochelle. Both of these men are being held at Westchester County Jail in Valhalla without bail. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Maura Carlin.
Parking lot permits are going on sale in the village of Mamaroneck, and here with the details is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
On Wednesday, village parking lot permits for residents and merchants will be on sale. Permit applications can be obtained at the Regatta Village Hall or at the police station, 168 Mount Pleasant Avenue. A daytime permit will cost $360, a nighttime permit, $120, and a combination of day and night permits will be $400. A copy of the car's registration must be included with the application. For information, call the Clerk Treasurer's Office at, of course, 914-777-7722. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see this news show again, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. We record one show each week, and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV, channel 71.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to see the news show. They'll try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you to watch.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort, and we could use a few more volunteers behind the scenes or as a reporter. Or maybe you'd like to shoot video. And whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are in the Mamaroneck High School, the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs across from the landmark Walter's hot dog stand. We get started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you would like us to put on this news show, bring it to the studio or write to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And Alyssha Miro. Local schools ring in a new school year.
Larchmont beaches reopen after a brief sewage scare.
A drought emergency continues in our area.
The final weeks of the season are scheduled for Playland Park.
And exciting news from one of our staff members. Those stories and more right here on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News Show for the second week of September 2002. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story?
Over the Labor Day weekend, it seemed like the rain was never going to stop, but it did not do much to fill up the reservoirs. Apparently, the ground was so dry that there was not much runoff that got into the reservoir system. And we're still under a stage 1 drought emergency. The reservoirs should be filled up to 81 percentage points at this time, but they're only filled to 69% of capacity. Under a stage 1 drought emergency, mandatory restrictions are in place. They are prohibiting people from washing vehicles, limiting the watering of lawns to alternate days, and also restricting restaurants to serve water. Obviously, everybody is encouraged to save water even beyond these restrictions. Whether the drought restrictions can be lifted will depend on the amount of rain that we will see this fall. Alyssha?
Well, after heavy rains in Larchmont recently, health officials were forced to shut down 2 private beaches. Beaches at Manor Park and the Larchmont Shore Club closed when a pump on Flint Avenue and Beach Avenue sent partially treated waste directly into the Long Island Sound, rather than the New Rochelle treatment plant that serves the village. The discharges were classified as level 2 spills. Level 2 means they may cause environmental damage but are not considered a health threat. The beaches were opened again on September 4th.
At the end of August, Mamaroneck Village received the good news that the state had agreed to give a $50,000 grant to the village for work concerning bringing the village into compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. The Americans with Disabilities Act has been in effect for 12 years, and finally the village of Mamaroneck will also be in a position to comply with the law. The top of the list of buildings that will see construction is Village Hall at the Regatta, where sliding doors will be installed. There will also be a new doorway built at the police station, and this will give the users of wheelchairs a better access to these buildings. The village will also install an intercom system at the Department of Public Works building on Fayette Avenue. This will allow a disabled person to call the offices upstairs. Someone will then come down and assist the person calling over the intercom. The $50,000 state grant is in addition to about $60,000 that were already set aside in the 2002-2003 fiscal budget for ADA-related work in the village.
A celebration of immigrants will be sponsored by the Hispanic Resource Center of Larchmont-Mamaroneck. To get the details, Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Laura Cruz Colon spoke with Beatrice Serrano and Olga Ochoa of the center.
Tonight we're here to invite the community to a celebration of immigrants that's being given by the Hispanic Resource Center of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. And with me are Beatrice Serrano, who happens to be the president of the board of directors of the Hispanic Resource Center, and Olga Ochoa, who happens to be the chairperson. Good evening, ladies. Are we all excited?
Thank you.
We are.
Yes, we are.
Great. I understand that on September the 25th, which happens to be a Wednesday, at 7:30 at the Emelin Theater, we're going to have a celebration to immigrants, and the whole community is invited to participate with this wonderful event. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, sure. But first of all, I would like to thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to introduce ourselves and to invite all of you to our celebration. The program, the goal of the program is to honor all the immigrants that are coming from different countries and are making America the way America is, wonderful.
Right.
And this celebration of immigrants had been proclaimed by our 3 municipalities, Mayor Trifiletti,
Phil Trifiletti.
Yes, and the supervisor, Byron O'Keefe, and Ken Bialo from the village of Larchmont. And they proclaimed this day, Wednesday, September the 25th, Immigrant Day.
That's wonderful.
And that is really great because we are receiving all the support from our government, and that is encouraging us with our organization and our group.
Great.
So again, this program is fundraising for our center.
Right.
And we really would like the whole community to
acknowledge and participate and enjoy, because this is something that it's for the whole community.
It's a benefit event, and we would like to invite everybody.
Right.
Now,
if people want to find out more information about it, where can they call to get more information about this celebration to immigrants that the Hispanic Resource Center is having?
they have to call the center, speak with Jairo Lasso.
Okay.
The center is at
134
Center Avenue, and the phone number is 835-1512.
Okay, so it's 1512 or 1512.
Yes.
835. Okay,
Yes.
great. And would you like to also say something to our community out there that doesn't speak English, that only speaks Spanish?
Por supuesto, para la comunidad de habla hispana estamos totalmente felices de que nuestro centro, que tiene su 3er año de vida, haya podido ayudar a muchos de nuestros inmigrantes, a muchos de nuestros hispanos afuera. Y el miércoles, septiembre 25, at the Emelin Theater, vamos a hacer una celebración para todos los inmigrantes. Es un programa para honrar no solamente a los inmigrantes hispanos, sino a todos los inmigrantes en general. Como todos ustedes lo saben, América es grande precisamente por por nosotros los inmigrantes. Y todos en este país, de una u otra manera, son inmigrantes. De nuevo, América es grande por los inmigrantes y tenemos el honor de celebrarlo. Y legalmente fue proclamado por nuestros 3 alcaldes de las 3 municipalidades como el Día de la Celebración del Inmigrante. Aprovecho esta oportunidad para invitarlos a todos.
Y va a ser eso el 25 de septiembre a las 7:30 en el Teatro Oehme. Okay.
Sí.
Y les gustaría que todo el mundo participara, ¿verdad?
Sí,
porque esto es para todo el mundo.
Muy bonito, tendremos la película de Charles Chaplin, vamos a tener también una silent action,
una acción silenciosa.
Sí, correcto.
Okay.
Vamos a tener también películas sobre el trabajo que nosotros hacemos y vamos a tener una pequeña recepción después de la celebración.
Por más información, lo mejor es llamar al teléfono del centro que está localizado en el 134 de la avenida Center, aquí en Mamaroneck, y el teléfono es el 914-835-1512.
De nuevo, muchas gracias por darnos la oportunidad de estar en este programa y tener la oportunidad de invitarlos a todos ustedes a esta celebración. Esperamos sus contribuciones, que son altamente apreciadas.
Ya
Muchas
que
gracias.
nuestro evento es un evento benéfico.
One of our staff was recently held behind bars, for charity that is. With the news from lockdown, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Christina Bolger.
Christina Balder, we have a warrant for your arrest. You are wanted, charged with the crime of having a big heart.
A big heart? I'm charged with having a big heart. And have I done anything else? I don't think so.
Yes, your prior convictions include thoughtfulness and generosity.
Oh, no, that I'm very guilty of. What can I say?
We've been after you for a while, and now we're going to throw the book at you.
We finally got you. It's time to go behind bars.
I have to go behind bars.
This is one of our local fundraisers. MDA is a national organization, but this is our lockup program is one of our events that we do locally, and we've been here at the Crab Shanty for many years in a row, and I have to say the Crab Shanty does an awesome job for us. They're great. They give us everything donated, the space and the food, and as you can see, they put on a great spread for us today, so we want to thank them.
Into the slammer you go.
Okay. Well, it is for a good cause, muscular dystrophy, so help get me out of jail. I need to raise bail.
I'm here with one of my fellow jail mates, and you are?
Patty Sperano from Auto Sound Specialists in Larchmont.
And I understand your crime is you also have a big heart and very thoughtful and kind. And tell us what brought you here for muscular dystrophy.
Just the realization now, having 2 beautiful grandchildren, Emma and Jacob, that this is an important thing to do, and it comes very close to home that you need to reach out and do for all the other children like we have in our lives, and whatever you can to help get past this, help them get through it, find that cure.
I'm here at the Crab Shanty behind bars, and do you feed us here?
Maybe a little bit of bread and water.
Okay, well, whatever you can spare, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, whatever you can spare, please help me raise my bail. Help!
This is a community-wide event. We spend a lot of time recruiting people and asking people to volunteer their time, like you, to come down today and help us out.
In fact, a lot of the prisoners were picked up by, I was picked up by a limousine.
Exactly. And actually all of the limousines that we have are donated too. So this is really just an example of how the community does come together to help us out, from the limousines to our host location to all of our jailbirds that come down and spend an hour with us behind bars to raise bail money.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
But aren't I allowed a phone call or 2
You're
or
allowed
3?
as many phone calls as you would like to help raise your bail.
Thank goodness. I can make calls to raise bail.
And the reason why we do this every year in the Mamaroneck area is that the money that we raise does stay local to help the families that we serve in this area.
So it stays in Westchester County. What percentage goes towards research, goes towards, I also see that there's pictures of camp,
Right.
The MDA summer camp?
we actually send about 80% of our money back to program services. So that means that it goes to not only research, but it goes to sending kids to MDA summer camp. $525 goes to send one child to MDA summer camp, and we send lots of kids every year to camp. We also spend money on our wheelchairs, purchasing and repairing of wheelchairs and leg braces. We also pay for flu shots and clinic visits and support group, and all of that, again, is right here in our community. So the people that we serve in the community are directly benefiting from the money that's raised here today.
I have a phone number here, so if you'd like to call to help get me out of jail, which I'm sure you do, the phone number is 345-5062. Help! Help! Help me raise my bail, please.
A lot of hours, I'm sure, that you put into this.
It's worth it, though. When you see the results, you see how much money is raised in a one-day event. We're hoping to raise about $20,000 today, so it's a good one-day event, I tell you.
Help get me out of jail. I need to raise my bail money, and it's a lot. And, you know, $10, $20, $30, $50, $100, whatever you can spare. It's for a good cause, muscular dystrophy. This is Christina from Larchmont Mamaroneck for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News from Crab Shanty for the muscular dystrophy. Help!
There truly is no love in tennis. A state Supreme Court judge recently dismissed a $100 million lawsuit against Mamaroneck Village and Sport Time, a Long Island-based sports company. The lawsuit was filed by Harborview Racquet Club, the former operator of the tennis bubbles at Harbor Island Park. The Bedford-based company, which operated the courts for more than 20 years, sued the village for violating its right of first refusal for the new contract to run the bubbles. The dismissal allows for the village and Sport Time to try to recoup the $600,000 that Harborview had to post during the case. Mamaroneck Village attorney Stephen Silverberg was pleased with the verdict. However, the match is not over yet because Harborview has filed an appeal to the appellate division in Brooklyn. The village has gone without winter tennis for the past 2 years because of the lawsuit. A ruling by the appellate division of the Supreme Court last fall allowed the village to negotiate a 5-year deal with Sport Time, which began running tennis at the park this year. Sport Time has renovated the clubhouse at the park and resurfaced and re-irrigated the 8 tennis courts. The company is required to pay the village $75,000 a year or 10% of its total sales, whichever is larger.
A new school year has begun, and Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Oehme reminds us about being safe.
Now the summer vacation is a memory, and Labor Day seems like it was only yesterday, which means now we can say it's back to school. Please remember to take a little extra time and drive safely. And to all students, teachers, and parents, here's to a great year. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Oehme Schachtel.
Playland continues to attract more and more people each summer. Projections are that by September 29th, when the park closes, more than 1 million people will have come to the park. This year's visitors will have spent about $11.5 million, and this may allow the county to reduce the budgeted subsidy of $3.5 million. Playland is a county park, and the subsidies that it receives are under review because of the budget deficit that Westchester County is facing. What budgetary restrictions may be imposed in the 2003 budget is still uncertain. Next year's budget is currently being put together and has not been released yet. And also, we'd just like to remind you that during September, the park is only open on weekends.
Well, for details about a new addition to our staff, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Oehme Schachtel.
I want to say congratulations to Maura Carlin and her family on the recent birth of their 3rd child. That makes 3 boys for Maura. All of us here at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News wish you and your family health, happiness, and a future full of fun. We look forward to seeing you soon. Please come back. We miss you.
And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see this news show again, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. We record one show each week, and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV, channel 71.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to see the new show. They'll try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you to watch.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort. We could use a few more volunteers behind the scenes or as a reporter, or maybe you'd like to shoot video. Whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are in the Mamaroneck High School, the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs across from the landmark Walter's hot dog stand. You get things started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you would like us to put on this new show, bring it to the studio or write to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. We'll see you next week. An 83-year-old Mamaroneck man is treated for West Nile.
News about a drug bust on I-95.
A garbage firm vows to address complaints in our area.
Harbor Island beach pollution filter is finally in place.
And Playland Park has some more important schedule changes. Those stories and more right here on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News Show for the 3rd week of September 2002. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story?
Westchester County has its first case of West Nile virus since 1999. An 83-year-old unidentified Mamaroneck man is recovering in an undisclosed hospital. He got sick on August 22nd, was hospitalized 3 days later, and test results released after the Labor Day weekend showed he carried the disease. The Mamaroneck man is expected to recover. Westchester County Health Commissioner Joshua Lipsman said, as quoted in the Journal News, "I don't think that people should be particularly worried about this. We've known the West Nile is present in our area, and we've known that since 1999. We have a very aggressive prevention program and monitoring program." End of quote.
Well, a drug arrest along I-95 in Mamaroneck occurred when a routine traffic stop resulted in the state police siege of 60 pounds of marijuana. The suspects are 2 Canadians who were later charged with felony drug possession. A trained drug-sniffing dog assisted state troopers in discovering the contraband inside a 2000 GMC pickup truck. The truck was heading northbound around 7 p.m. on September 5th. First-degree criminal possession of marijuana carries up to a 15-year prison term. The men arrested are currently being held without bail at Westchester County Jail in Valhalla.
After 18 years in Albany for the Democrats in the State Assembly, Ronald Tocci's re-election campaign received a major blow. Tocci lost in the Democratic primary against New Rochelle City Councilman Noam Bramson by an almost 2-to-1 margin, a landslide. But don't count Tocci out yet. He is now going to run on the Republican ticket. Branson and Tochi are battling for the new 91st Assembly District that replaces the old 85th District. It covers Rye Town and City, Mamaroneck Town, and the southern half of New Rochelle. A member of the State Assembly serves for 2 years and is paid $79,500 per year. Branson, who is 32 years old, about half the age of Tochi, was a longtime aide to U.S. Congress Representative Nita Lowey.
Well, the pollution filter intended to reopen Mamaroneck's Harbor Island Park Beach for swimming is in place. With the story here is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Christina Bolger.
The new Gundaboom, a pollution filter, has finally been installed at Mamaroneck's Harbor Island Park Beach after a long 2-year swimming ban. The new Gundaboom will replace the one ruined by a diesel fuel spill from a neighboring Director's shipyard 3 years ago. The filter is 800 feet long and is a green tube-like structure that will encircle the swimming area of the beach. The Gundaboom will be attached to large concrete anchors buried under the sand. Underwater, a polyester and polypropylene curtain will be attached to the flotation tube to keep bacterial pollution from entering the water. I spoke with Mamaroneck's Recreation Superintendent, Roseanne Saraceno, and she stated that the no bathing signs posted by the Westchester County Health Department have not been removed. The beach is also closed for the season. She also said the beach has traditionally always opened on the weekend of 4th of July and closes the weekend of Labor Day. Roseanne also added that next year the beach cannot reopen until there are 2 weeks of good water quality testing. Director Shipyard will pay most of the $135,000 of cost of the Gundaboom as part of a settlement with the village, which sued them for the spill. The village has contributed $10,000 and some construction material for the Gundaboom. So remember, if we have an Indian summer this fall, the Mamaroneck's Harbor Island Park Beach is closed. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Christina Bolger.
Suburban Karting Corporation told the Zoning Board of Appeals of Mamaroneck Village last week that the company would address complaints about noise and odor emanating from its waste transfer station at the board's next meeting next month. Suburban agreed to go before the zoning board, which will determine if the company is complying with the guidelines the board set in the early 1980s to control noise and odor from Suburban's facility at 306 Fayette Avenue in Mamaroneck. More than 30 residents appeared at the zoning board meeting last week, and several complained about the odors and beeping trucks they claim are damaging their quality of life. Some residents even suggest that garbage from the transfer station has spilled onto the banks of the Sheldrake River next door and may be contributing to the water pollution that has left the beach at Harbor Island Park closed for swimming the past 2 years. The facility at Fayette Avenue is used to transfer waste collected in the area to large trucks that take it to a dump site. Last month, Mamaroneck Village reached an interim settlement with Suburban Karting that will require the company to pay for a study of noise and odor problems at the waste transfer station. Under the settlement, the company will have to implement the recommendations of the study or face the continuation of a village lawsuit seeking to close the facility until the problems are eliminated. The next meeting of the zoning board is 7 p.m. October 3rd at Village Hall, 169 Mount Pleasant Avenue.
New cars are scheduled to go into service on Metro-North trains in the near future. The model known as the M7 is called the train of the future. In 2004, Metro-North will get 180 M7 cars, making up about half of its fleet of electric trains. So what's so special about these cars? Everything on the car is controlled by microprocessors, onboard pay telephones, ergonomic seats, more legroom, picture windows with tinted panes, smoother suspension, automated station announcements, no flicker lighting, backup air conditioning, and curved corners to prevent dirt from accumulating are standard. The trains have one disadvantage, though. Because of increased legroom and more comfortable seats, each car has fewer seats for passengers. On average, there are 13 seats less than on the old cars.
Wow, we're going to have to get used to that.
Yeah.
There's maybe some cramped corners, or maybe the aisles will be wider so we can, stand the whole ride into New York City.
They can add some trains or maybe add some cars
Oh, that's true.
on the
Some
trains.
extra cars. That would be nice. Well, Larchmont leaders are in support of preserving Manor Inn. But what about funding? Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray tells us more.
The Larchmont Village Board of Trustees passed a unanimous resolution to support preservation of the historic Manor Inn. However, they decided not to donate village money to help a private advocacy group buy the property. Questions have been raised about whether a village donation would be legal. And there was no overwhelming public support, said Mayor Bialo in the Journal News. Christine Bolton and her two sisters co-own the 35-room Manor Inn, the last of Larchmont's 4 resort hotels. From the village's popularity as a summer vacation years ago, this is the last one in Larchmont on Long Island Sound. The inn, located 7 Prospect Avenue, was built in 1893 and is currently being run as a senior citizen residence and hotel. The owners have applied to demolish the property so they can build 2 individual homes in its place for sale. Some local residents say the inn is a part of Larchmont's history and should be preserved. The residents have formed the Committee for the Preservation of the Manor Inn and are trying to raise money to buy the property, which the Boltons have set at $2.9 million. But the Boltons are not waiting. Just last Monday, the Larchmont Planning Commission heard a petition from the Boltons requesting a demolition permit. We will keep you posted. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
For news about historic Playland's fiscal health as well as important schedule announcements, here is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Christina Bolger.
Playland's schedule now is weekends only and will close their gates on September 29th. Playland had a very good year financially, though, which could keep the county subsidy below the $3.5 million that was budgeted. This year's revenues are expected to reach about $11.5 million. This increase should help park officials make their case for continued support with the upcoming debate on Westchester County's budget for 2003 with the Board of Legislators and County Executive Andrew Spano. Park Director Joe Montaldo told the Journal News that the heat this summer helped attendance at the beach and pool, which regularly loses money. The amusement park is usually the park's only moneymaker. The park's director also told the Journal News about 2 master plans in the works. One for the amusement park, beach and pool, that the legislators agreed to fund with $250,000 in effort to keep the 74-year-old park competitive with other amusement parks. The county legislators has scheduled a first vote on spending $3 million to rebuild the pool, which now leaks. The second plan is for the ice casino, which is the biggest drain on Playland's $16 million budget. The New York Rangers hockey team used to rent the rink for practice sessions, but its owners are building a rink in Greenburgh. The park director said he may be close to signing a deal with another tenant, but would not identify the tenant to the Journal News. A spokeswoman for Spano, Donna Green, would not say whether Spano would propose again in closing the casino in his budget for 2003. Only that the 2003 budget is, quote, still a work in progress. Playland will be rented for a private event on the weekend of September 21st. And the last weekend, only Kittyland will be open. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Christina Bolger.
And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see the news show again, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. We'll record 1 show each week, and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV, channel 71.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to see the new show. They'll try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you to watch.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort. We could use a few more volunteers either behind the scenes or as a reporter, or maybe you'd like to shoot video. Whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are on the Mamaroneck High School. The Palmer Avenues are just up the stairs across from the landmark Walter's hot dog stand. We'll get things started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you'd like us to put on this new show, bring it to the studio or write to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alyssha Miro.
There is a new European report out that says a little dust might not be so bad.
The Homex ice ring is about to open and we'll tell you when.
We will have an update on our drought situation.
Mamaroneck Town receives a streetscape grant.
We have news about the Lollipop Fair and a fine community walk that took place. Those stories and more on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News Show for the last week of September 2002. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Christina Bulger. Our top story. Bad news. There have been reports of bad food in the news lately. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray has more.
20 cases of listeriosis have been reported in counties outside of New York City. Of these cases, 2, both in Rochester, have been identified as the same strain of illness that sickened people in Pennsylvania. Earlier in the summer, 4 cases were not linked to the Pennsylvania strain, and the rest are under study. New York City health officials said this week that the Pennsylvania strain has infected 8 city residents, 2 fatally. The source of the outbreak has not been identified, although past cases have been linked to soft cheese, unpasteurized milk, hot dogs, and pate. Listeriosis is caused by the Listeria monocytogenes bacterium. The infection is particularly dangerous to pregnant women who are 20 times more likely than other healthy people to become infected. An infection can lead to premature delivery or a stillbirth. Others at risk include the elderly and those with weakened immune systems. Symptoms of a listeria infection include fever, muscle aches, and sometimes nausea or diarrhea. If the infection spreads to the nervous system, it can cause a headache, stiff neck, confusion, loss of balance, and possibly convulsions. There have been 3 cases of listeriosis in Westchester this year, including the one since July. Summer is usually the prime season for listeriosis because of consumption of hot dogs and cold cuts. Those at risk of illness are advised to avoid soft cheeses, such as feta and brie. blue veined cheeses, and Mexican-style cheeses. Refrigerate pâté and meat spreads, smoked seafood, unless contained in a cooked dish, such as a casserole. Any unpasteurized or foods containing unpasteurized milk should be refrigerated. Additional hot dogs and luncheon meats should be avoided unless they are cooked until they are steaming hot. If you have symptoms of listeria, see your doctor. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
The town of Mamaroneck will be applying for Federal Community Development Block Grant funds to complete the Boston Post Road streetscape project. Previously, the sidewalks and the appearance of Boston Post Road were improved between the Lexus car dealership and the McDonald's restaurant. The next project is aimed at improving the road between Dillon Road and Parkland Avenue.
Fortunately, trucks are being checked more closely these days. Federal, state, and local officials are learning more about the amounts and types of hazardous liquids, gases, and solids that pass through the New York region. This happens when authorities divert commercial vehicles off the road for random safety inspection or after a crash or spill. On August 13th, a tractor-trailer hauling low-level radioactive tools to Indian Point 2 nuclear power plant crashed into a highway overpass on Route 9. The driver was unable to ease into the safe and proper lane in time. More than 100 residents from nearby homes were evacuated before the scene was declared safe. Westchester County and Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration records show that the county ranked 4th in the state in the number of such crashes. Some 752,000 loads of poisons, explosives, and flammable gases are trucked on the nation's roads every day. The Journal News reported that hazardous materials represent about 8% of all truck traffic statewide and nationally. Fortunately, there are strict requirements for drivers to transport such materials. They have to pass drug tests, have a valid commercial license, and hazardous materials training, and also possess a verification certificate that they don't have a heart condition and aren't subject to seizures or blackouts. On September 26, 2001, President Bush signed the Patriot Act, under which all states will be required to conduct criminal background checks before drivers who haul hazardous materials can receive or renew their permits. In addition, there is an increase in spot inspections. A typical roadside inspection can take up to an hour. The state police told the Journal News that most truck drivers are cooperative and understanding of the need for these random inspections. High-tech methods also are being considered to prevent terrorists from using trucks as weapons of mass destruction. So the next time you see a truck pulled over by the state police, you should feel confident that your tax dollars are at work to keep our roadways and our communities safe. Sven?
There was a 9/11 memorial at Harbor Island. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Amy Schechtel has more.
On September 11th, more than 600 people came to Mamaroneck's Harbor Island Park. That evening, religious leaders, elected officials, and emergency workers led the crowd in support and remembrance of the tragic event. During the ceremony, the names of residents who were killed in the attack on the World Trade Center were read. A memorial made from part of one of the Twin Towers' steel beams was dedicated by the Mamaroneck Village police officer, Reagan Kelly. The spiritual leaders from 6 local houses of worship and a representative of the Muslim community led more than 600 people through this ceremony. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Amy Schachtel.
Westchester County is still under a drought emergency. Residents are reminded and asked to continue to save water. The recent rainstorms haven't done much to fill up the reservoirs. At the end of last week, reservoir levels were at 64% of capacity. They should be at 77%. Please keep in mind that the following restrictions are still in effect. The use of hoses for street, driveway, sidewalk, and car washing is prohibited. The use of water to clean building exteriors is prohibited. Lawn watering is restricted to the hours of 5 to 9 a.m. and 7 to 9 p.m. only. Odd-numbered addresses may only water on odd-numbered calendar days, and even-numbered addresses may only water on even-numbered days. Lawn watering is prohibited when 0.1% or more inches of precipitation are reported within the previous 24-hour period. Water may be used to irrigate gardens, provided that a handheld container, a drip irrigation system, or a handheld hose with an automatic shut-off device is used.
On September 14th, FIND, which stands for Friends Indeed, held its first community walk to benefit local families who lost loved ones on September 11th of last year. This year, the walk was organized to establish an educational fund for the children of the community members lost on September 11th. There are 16 local children affected by this tragedy. For more information on FIND, you can look them up at their website, www.findlmc.org, or call them at 914-262-8047.
It's that time of the year again, time for the Lollipop Fair. Here was an interview with Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Oehme.
Sitting here with Carol Cawley. Carol, welcome tonight.
Thank you.
And I am totally intrigued by these unusual, cute, sweet-looking earrings you have on. You're wearing lollipops.
I am.
And I have to feel it's because of the Lollipop Festival that you're here to talk about.
It is exactly that.
Did you make these?
I did make these. We have found in all kinds of marketing that a picture's worth 1,000 words. And so we realized that I better have these earrings for whatever I did to promote the fair.
Well, keep them on, you know, keep another one in your pocket in case you get hungry.
That's right.
All right. But coming up September 28th from 11 to 4 is the Lollipop Festival.
That's right.
And is the location the same place?
It
Why don't
is
you tell us?
the Mamaroneck United Methodist Church.
Yes.
On the Boston Post Road.
Yes.
I actually don't know the street number. I should.
Okay.
It's just up the street from the Mamaroneck Diner.
Okay.
On the opposite side of the street.
And that has been the site of the Lollipop Fair for many
years. It did have a bit of a hiatus and was resurrected 5 years ago. So this will be our new 5th annual Lollipop Fair.
And from what I understand, and of course I've been being a local here, the children really enjoy it. It's really something that the kids can just have fantasy and fun with. And the adults enjoy themselves too.
Absolutely.
But there's another aspect to what you're doing for the community. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Sure. In addition to having fun, we hope to raise a significant amount of money, and the proceeds are then divided between use for the nursery school, use for the church, and a joint capital project that benefits both users of the property. For example, last year we replaced linoleum tile in the education wing of the building. The year before that, the children's playground was completely revamped, re-landscaped, new equipment, a lot brought up to safety code, and that benefits both the nursery school and our Sunday school kids.
And Carol, one other thing, I was going through the brochure about what's going to be happening, and there will be a silent auction.
There will.
And who has contributed to this silent auction?
Over 150 folks. Many of our local merchants have donated merchandise. Families from the nursery school have donated merchandise and/or financial contributions, and then families from the church also.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is.
A very sweet time.
Yes.
In every sense of the word. And I thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
And again, it's September 28th from 11 to 4. And the location, please?
The Mamaroneck United Methodist Church on the Boston Post Road.
I'll be there.
Good, so will I. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
In addition to the capital improvements, money is used by the nursery school for scholarships and program enhancements. The church directs most of the proceeds to its outreach committee, which then distributes it to local and global charities, for example, Larchmont Mamaroneck Hunger Task Force, Employment for Larchmont and Mamaroneck, the Mamaroneck CAP Center, and Freedom from Hunger.
I know I'll be going to the Lollipop Fair. I always have so much fun. There's so much to do, and the silent auction is a lot of fun, too.
The Homex Park Ice Ring will open on October 2nd, 2002. The Recreation Department of the town of Mamaroneck will offer ice skating lessons, a youth hockey program, and there will also be public skating. The Homex pool will be open throughout the year, and it will continue to offer swim programs for children and adults. Many residents were disappointed by the closing of the pool during the July 4th weekend. The town of Mamaroneck will be offering a discount on 2003 pool permits. The discount will be available to those residents who held valid 2002 permits during the time that the pool was closed.
A new European study has suggested that a little dust might not be so bad. Here with an explanation is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
Surprise, surprise! Could your home be too clean? A European study hints at the possibility that common household dust may actually help to protect children from developing hay fever or asthma. Parents have assumed for years that since these things aggravate existing allergies, it can probably make a growing child more susceptible to developing more allergies. The new concept is referred to as the hygiene hypothesis. The hypothesis is that early contact with certain germs arms the maturing immune system in a similar manner as vaccines protect against diseases. Supporters of the idea suspect that indoor plumbing, cleaner and more airtight homes combined with antibiotics have contributed to an explosion of allergies in the industrialized nations. The United States rate for asthma rose 74% in the 1980s and early 90s. It began to decrease in 1996. There are approximately 10.5 million Americans with asthma and 24.8 million people with hay fever. The European researchers used farm children in Switzerland, Austria, and Germany because they are exposed to the germs of animal waste. The non-farm children had higher rates for allergies. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
And that's it for this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see this news show again, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. We'll record one show each week, and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV, Channel 71.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to see the news show. They will try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort. We could use a few more volunteers behind the scenes or as a reporter. Or maybe you'd like to shoot video. Whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are in the Mamaroneck High School, the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs across from the landmark Walter's hot dog stand. We get things started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you would like us to put on this news show, bring it to the studio or write us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Christina Bolger, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you out there who helped bail me out of the muscular dystrophy jail at Crab Shanty. Thanks again and have a safe week.
We're lucky that you're here.
Yes.
Unemployment is on the rise in Westchester.
Reports say noise is down at the county airport.
Could ferry service to New York City be coming to our area?
Suspect in Starbucks robbery is now in custody.
And a local travel agency is offering some exciting seminars. Those stories and more right here on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Christina Bolger.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story. Reports from the New York State Labor Department show that the unemployment rate in Westchester County has risen from rates just 1 year ago. The unemployment rate for August 2002 came in at 4.1%, while in 2001 it was 3.7%. This is the highest unemployment rate in Westchester County since 1996. Even though unemployment has risen, Westchester County showed a net gain of 700 jobs. Most new jobs in Westchester were in the government sector. While the number of government jobs rose, manufacturing jobs declined, due in part to the closing of Texaco in Harrison. Westchester is not alone in their number of unemployed residents. Rockland and Putnam counties' unemployment rates have also risen. With an increase in the total workforce in our area, many residents seem unsure about finding jobs in the current market.
Larchmont police detectives and New York State police, acting on a tip received through Westchester County Crime Stoppers, arrested Anthony Guerra in connection with the July 18th Larchmont Starbucks robbery. 31-year-old Guerra was arrested on an outstanding parole violation at his home in Yonkers on September 19th. According to a press release from Larchmont Chief of Police Stephen D. Rubio, earlier this summer, Mr. Guerra flashed what appeared to be a police badge on the morning of July 18, 2002, to two Starbucks employees on Palmer Avenue in Larchmont. Employees let Guerra into the store, and then he let an accomplice, who was still at large, in through a rear door. Then the two handcuffed the employees to a sink and robbed the store of over $2,900. Guerra was arraigned and charged with robbery in the first degree and criminal impersonation in Larchmont Village Justice Court last Tuesday. Now he is being held at the Westchester County Jail. His next court appearance is set for October 8th.
Well, talk about ferry service to New York City from nearby New Rochelle is in the news again. For local reactions, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Amy Schachtel.
When it comes to transportation to Manhattan, most of us consider taking Metro North or driving. Now it seems there's a new option in the works. A ferry service between Sound Shore and Manhattan is being discussed as an alternative to driving. Recently, residents and local government met and brainstormed the idea of a ferry leaving from Portchester and New Rochelle into Manhattan. The Long Island Sound Waterborne Transportation Plan and the New York Metropolitan Transportation Council have set up a workshop to find out how to better use the Long Island Sound for transportation. New Rochelle Mayor Idoni and the City Marina area could be considered as a docking point. You can go online for more info at www.nymtc.org/WATE B-O-U-R-N, Waterborne Plan Index, TM. And now, here's what a few people on the street had to say.
Cut down congestion on 95 and the train stations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
How do you feel about a ferry service?
I think it would be great. I think it would make traffic a lot less and make a lot more easy for everybody to commute to the city.
Thanks.
This ferry service into Manhattan could be fine. You know, suits the need and doesn't hurt any of the people involved around the ferry locations.
Service to New York would probably be beneficial because of all the traffic which we encounter going back and forth from New York City. I think it would be a lot easier to travel. Obviously, the trains aren't doing much.
Though it has been cited as one of the 3 busiest corporate jet hubs in the country, Westchester County Airport is a quieter place. A new noise study commissioned by the county was the first since 1988. Most of the noise reduction is due to newer technologies like quieter engines. There are also fewer training flights that typically fly low and make frequent takeoffs and landings. The report commissioned by the county took 2 years to complete and cost $78,000. It is also interesting to note that many new homes being built in Westchester offer built-in soundproofing, so air traffic noise reaching levels above 55 decibels, the EPA's recommended level, don't become an annoyance.
The Administrator for Hispanic Affairs of Westchester County is a former MHS student. For more on her duties here is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
The Administrator for the Hispanic Affairs in Westchester County is Marta Lopez. Ms. Lopez attended school in Mamaroneck and has had many years of experience as an advocate for Hispanic community. Her county position makes her part community advocate, ombudsman, and problem solver. She is available and willing to help the Hispanic community. County Executive Spano is quoted in The Sound in Town as saying, "We wanted to tear down the barriers that often keep Hispanic and Latinos from enjoying a quality of life that many of us take for granted. A job, an affordable place to live, a safe place to raise a family, and the ability to be an active part of a community." Ms. Lopez, a bilingual liaison hired in May 2001, serves as a bridge between the Hispanic residents and the programs and services available throughout the county. For example, Ms. Lopez has solved problems such as finding someone a job, a doctor, and an apartment. She has helped a person with multiple sclerosis find a mobilized chair through the help of the MS Foundation. Ms. Lopez said, "My job is to make sure people know what government can do for them and to encourage the development of more programs out in the community." For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
A Larchmont travel agency is offering all kinds of helpful travel advice. For news about upcoming seminars, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Amy Schachtel.
I'm sitting here with Barbara Nichols. Thank you for joining us tonight, Barbara. And our audience would like to hear about the seminars.
Hi, I'm Barbara Nichols, and I'm the owner of Bayside Travel in Larchmont. And I have had the pleasure of speaking before many groups about family travel. In my many years of experience in the business and traveling, I have imparted a lot of information, and that's what I do via my seminars. Our seminars address several different components to family travel, some of which are getting there, travel tips, tips on packing, but I think the most important thing really that we talk about in the seminars is making memories and really what family travel is all about, which of course is making memories. And I start out by talking about starting with the youngest child to the oldest person in the family and how to get them involved in the planning of the trip, in the excitement of the trip, and to be enthusiastic and to get everyone really looking forward to it. And the way to do that is to get everyone to give you an opinion on where they'd like to travel. And depending on age, you're going to find some very varying interests. It could be anything from Disney World to a ranch to a safari or a Caribbean beach. I also address the importance of travel insurance in my seminars. For more information on travel insurance and other essential travel tips, visit me at my website, www.luxurytravelservice.com.
And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see this news show again, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. We record one show each week, and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV, Channel 71.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to see the news show. They'll try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you to watch.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort, and we could use a few more volunteers, either behind the scenes or as a reporter. Or maybe you'd like to shoot video. Whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are in the Mamaroneck High School, the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs across from the landmark Walter's Hot Dog stand. We get things started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you would like us to put on this news show, bring it to the studio or write to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Christina Bolger.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. We'll see you next week. Maybe. Good job. Yeah, that was so great. That was great. It was a short show. New traffic lights are slated for the site of a post-road collision.
A woman who died at the Mamaroneck Motel is identified.
Local teens receive minor injuries when drinking and driving.
A new filter has yet to clean up Mamaroneck beach water.
And a look at Mamaroneck Village's recreation programs. Those stories and more right here on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story. Well, drinking and driving resulted in an accident for 9 Larchmont and Mamaroneck teens the last week in September. The teens were traveling in a sport utility vehicle with a driver who only possessed a junior license, allowing him to drive only until 9 p.m. Well, at 9:15 p.m., the teens ran a stop sign at Prospect and Delancey Avenues in Mamaroneck, where the SUV struck a Toyota, rolled over, and sent 7 of the teens to area hospitals with cuts and bruises. No one in the Toyota was injured. Police arrested and charged the teen driver with driving while intoxicated, running a stop sign, and operating out of restrictions. Another teen was arrested for disorderly conduct and failing to cooperate with the investigating officers. Released to their parents, the arrested teens will be required to appear in village court for arraignment. Although the incident occurred on the weekend and away from school, there are impacts on the local school district. 3 of the students involved in the incident had signed athletic contracts agreeing that they would refrain from drugs, alcohol, or tobacco products during their season. Those students were suspended for 7 days of the season, where they will attend practice, apologize to the team, but sit out for games. If another offense were to occur, they would sit out for the rest of the season. Mamaroneck School District spokesperson Joan Rosen pointed out the programs in place at school to help educate youngsters about the dangers of alcohol and drug abuse. She also urged for the cooperation of parents and the community in educating students about making safe choices.
Westchester County Executive Andrew Spano has said that the property taxes may jump by 31.7% next year as he sees the county being hit by a budget crisis. Spano almost entirely blames the crisis on costly programs that are mandated by the state, but unfortunately not fully funded by New York State. Those state-mandated programs that include a number of social services for poor and disabled citizens are expected to cost the county about $626 million next year. According to Spano, this amount will cover the existing property tax levy of the county, the $46 million surplus, and almost half of all the sales tax revenues. Spano will not release his budget proposal for next year until November, but the discussion among politicians has already started. County legislator George Orris, a Republican, was quoted in the Journal News as saying, "We're in the fiscal crisis because of things that happened here in White Plains. We ought to clean our house first before we start to complain about Albany." End of quote. A new traffic light is slated for the site of a collision on Boston Post Road. For details, here is Larchmont Marana Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
The Village of Larchmont will be getting new traffic signal equipment at Beach Avenue and Boston Post Road. It is hoped that this signal equipment will prevent future accidents, such as one that was witnessed by a Mr. Hollingsworth. Mr. Hollingsworth observed as he was traveling towards Larchmont, a Verizon van had stopped to make a left turn onto Beach Avenue when another vehicle moving towards New Rochelle attempted to make a left turn onto Beach Avenue. When a vehicle went around the Verizon truck and was trying to get through the intersection, and there was a collision. Neighbors from surrounding houses complained about the ongoing danger at this intersection. For example, blinding sunlight at times, drivers attempting to beat the light, and pedestrians who may not move rapidly enough to reach the other side of the street before the light changes. The Traffic Commission chairperson has recognized the long-standing community concern with this corner. New York State will be upgrading the lights by replacing the poles, using poles with push buttons for the pedestrians, new lights which are larger, and a walk and don't walk signal will be placed at each corner. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
Well, the new Harbor Island beach pollution filter has yet to cleanse the water. For an update, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Christina Bolger.
A Westchester County Health Department official told the Journal News that they have taken 3 water samples from Mamaroneck's Harbor Island Park Beach since the installation of the $135,000 Gunderboom, a pollution filter which was installed in the first week of September. This filter replaced the one that was ruined by a diesel spill from the neighboring Director's Shipyard 3 years ago. Unfortunately, swimming has been banned at the beach for the past 2 summers because the water was unfit for swimming. The first water sample was inconclusive and was taken 1 day after the filter was installed. The second sample contained 10 times the permissible limit considered safe for swimming. This sample was taken in mid-September. The third sample showed that the pollution had reduced, but was still too high for swimming and was taken recently. Mamaroneck's Mayor Philip Trifoletti told the Journal News that the Gunderboom hadn't been anchored properly until recently and probably affected the readings. The mayor also said the trend shows the pollution is going down and hopes the beach would be open for swimming next year. The water testing will only continue for about another week. The sample collections will shut down for the winter and resume again in the spring. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Christina Bolger.
There are 2 contenders for the State Senate District number 37, which includes our viewing area. Susie Oppenheimer, a Democrat and former mayor in Mamaroneck Village, and Irving A. Scharf, who is a Mamaroneck resident and is running for the Republicans. Oppenheimer is the incumbent, and she has served in Albany for the district for 9 terms. Scharf is a retired owner of a clothing store in Brooklyn Heights and has frequently run for office in our area. The Rights to Life candidate's name is Dolores M. Agins, who is also a Mamaroneck resident. State senators are elected for a 2-year term, and they are paid $79,500 per year.
Well, George Latimer, Westchester County legislator and Democrat, was seeking the nomination for deputy governor earlier this year. However, he did not have the full support of the Democrats and decided to take his name out of the competition. There is some consolation for Latimer now, as he has been elected as chairman of the county Democratic Party. Latimer pledged to take a grassroots approach. He was quoted in the New York Times saying, "It's not enough to be connected to the big guys. You've got to be connected to every guy and girl at every level."
Mamaroneck School District's Building Committee is inviting the public to 2 upcoming meetings regarding the future plans for the Homox Pool. For the schedule, we turn to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Christina Bolger.
The Mamaroneck School District Building Committee invites the public to 2 upcoming meetings regarding the future plans for the Homox Pool. The Building Committee oversees the planning and execution of all capital and renovation projects in the district's many facilities. The district's architect and engineer will present their research on a new roof for the pool. There will be an update on the rest of the project plan for the fall of 2004. There will also be time for public questions and comments. The meetings are October 16th at 7:30 p.m. in the library at Homox Middle School, and also on November 4th at 7:30 p.m. in the Post Road Conference Center of Mamaroneck High School. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Christina Bolger.
Well, Larchmont's Village Paint is almost ready to reopen. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Amy Schachtel has the details.
Larchmont Village Paint, almost ready to reopen. Dan Getz, owner of Larchmont Paint, has been renovating his shop. Last July, a fire damaged one of our well-known establishments. Since then, the rebuilding, repainting, and newly added hardwood floors have the town anxiously awaiting the second opening of a Larchmont Classic. Mr. Getz says, "People are stopping in. It's very heartening." And he adds, "This is a good town. They care about us." For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Amy Schachtel.
Well, it does look like there's going to be winter tennis in Mamaroneck after all. After 2 winters without tennis, 2 tennis bubbles will go up this winter and people will be able to play. The bubbles will be operated by Sport Time Harbor Island Park. Membership fees are $35 a month for a family and $15 for an adult player. There's a $2 discount for Mamaroneck residents for individual memberships. The operating company, Sport Time, has spent about $850,000 to renovate the facility. Mamaroneck's share of the operations revenue is $75,000 or 10%, whichever is higher. Estimates are that Mamaroneck will probably get around $150,000 to $160,000 from the operation of the tennis bubbles. Mayor Phil Trafiletti was quoted in the Times saying, "We are in an economic situation where every dollar counts. When you anticipate $75,000 and can end up getting $160,000, that is a blessing." End of quote.
The village of Larchmont's Flint Park will receive a $120,000 federal environmental protection grant from the state. Efforts to expand and improve playing fields, restore native plant life, and provide waterfront access and visibility got a helping hand when Governor Pataki announced more than $1 million in federal grants for projects in the Hudson Valley region. The Flint Park waterfront has been closed off to the public for decades, but after major construction to build a stormwater holding tank is done, plans to renovate and reopen the waterfront will be considered. None of this would have happened without our dedicated mayor, trustees, and citizens. It is interesting to note that after applying for the grant for 5 years in a row, the village has proved the old adage true: patience is a virtue.
The woman who died in a fire in the bathroom at the Mamaroneck Motel at 1015 West Boston Post Road at the end of September has been identified. Her name is Justina Parker. She was a resident of New Rochelle. Mamaroneck police released the information that the victim of the fire was a guest at the motel. She was 41 years old and the mother of a young family. Circumstances of the incident are still under investigation. A local scientist has received an award for gene research. Here is Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray with the story.
Dr. James Darnell of Larchmont has received the Albert Lasker Award for Special Achievement in Medical Science. Dr. Darnell has developed groundbreaking research in the field of gene regulation. Dr. Darnell heads the Laboratory of Molecular Cell Biology at the Rockefeller University in New York City. The prestigious award was won for his pioneering studies of RNA. RNA is a substance cells require to produce proteins, and it also facilitates the cell's responses to signaling substances called cytokines. Darnell's research has produced valuable new insights into the field of biology of specific human cancers, including multiple myeloma, head and neck tumors. In addition, Dr. Darnell has fostered the development of more than 100 scientists who hold various positions throughout the world. Congratulations to you, Dr. Darnell, and keep up the wonderful work. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Glenna Gray.
A news store in Mamaroneck that answers a very good question: how to help others and yourself. Top of the line at 216 Mamaroneck Avenue in Mamaroneck has just opened. A clothing store that caters to children and adults will provide another great place to shop while supporting the Cerebral Palsy chapter of Westchester. The store is run by volunteers and employees, which are adults with disabilities. This is a very supportive environment for these people to learn skills and be helpful to themselves and the community. So stop by, get your shopping done, and show your support. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Amy Schachtel, and now we'll see a little bit of Corinne, who runs the store, and she'll tell you about it in her own words.
Hi, my name is Corinne Madej. I'm the manager for Top of the Line Thrift Store. We're affiliated through United Cerebral Palsy of Westchester, and it is a benefit program for adult disabled individuals who come here, and it's a work program for them to come and basically get prepared to go out into the real workforce. We have clothing for men, women, and children, new and used, and we're open from Tuesday to Friday from 10 to 5 and Saturday from 11 to 4. And we'd love to if you would come by.
Our very own Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Christina Boja has a chance to sit down with Roseanne Saracino, the Superintendent of Recreation in Mamaroneck Village, and discuss some of the fall programs.
Roseanne, thank you. You're a very busy woman as the Superintendent of Recreation for the Village of Mamaroneck, and we look forward to hearing about all the new fall programs.
Oh, Christine, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on the LMC set and have an opportunity to talk about some of the wonderful programs that the village is offering its residents. And I thought I would highlight some of what's happening right now in the village, and certainly all of these programs have a second session that will start in January. So if you're not in a program now,
you still have time to sign up for next year.
Exactly right.
Now you have some
next year.
Yeah.
Next year, you're right, 03.
Here before we know it.
03. And I'd like to start with, we have some really wonderful teachers.
World class, I understand.
Yes, ma'am. Teaching our ballet class is a man who was born and raised in Russia and has literally danced all over the world, including with the Russian ballet.
That's exciting.
Vladimir Dorovinko is with us, and he started back in January with 2 classes, and we now have 4. So we're doing very well. A delightful person to work with, and as we speak, his daughter is one of the principal dancers for American Ballet Theater, along with her husband. So
we're really fortunate to have them here in the village.
Wonderful man. The children love him. The parents are thrilled with him.
And what age do the classes start?
Ballet class starts for age 4 through 11.
Okay. Do you have any adult classes, or is it just the children?
No adult ballet at this time,
okay.
but I'd certainly like to build, toward that. Okay. And our program gives a child a good background as a beginner, a foundation as a beginner. If they really like it, then they do have to move on to the private dance studios, of which we have one here in Mamaroneck that does wonderful work. So as children really like this, they can move out to the private sector.
Now, when does the next session begin?
We
The next
start
class?
the third week in January is when most of our second sessions will begin, and if anybody would like a brochure, they were all sent out over the Labor Day weekend, actually the week before. If you don't have one and would like another copy, you can call Recreation and we will mail one right out to you.
Okay, that number is 777
7784.
I remember calling it. Now, what other dance classes do you have available? You have belly dancing again this year, yes?
We have Egyptian belly dancing, and that was a new class last year as well. Started out with one class. We now have 4. We now have 4. And this is another one of our teachers who has lived on 3 different continents. She was born and raised in the Middle East, where belly dancing, you know, that's the birthplace.
Sure.
And she's taught in Europe, and now she's here for other business. And she came in our door and asked to teach. And I couldn't.
How could you say no?
How can you say no?
No. Now, what, you have morning classes and evening classes as well, beginner and intermediate?
That's exactly right. We have something here for everyone. Suad Chantelaire is her name, and she's also one of our residents, and she's raising her family here right now, and very happy to have her.
We're very lucky to have her. Now, the next class is when?
Oh, check my sheet here. Once again, we start.
Or just
no,
January.
Actually, we do have classes starting in November for this particular program. So there's a November section and a February section.
Okay, now that's for adults.
That is for adults, but all of our adult programs are open to teens as well. And if you have a student ID card from one of our local high schools, you can present that and get a 25% off discount.
Oh, it's a student discount? Excellent. The parents will like that.
And that's it for this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
If you want to see the news show again, you can. It's on every weekday night at 7 p.m. We record one show each week, and it's replayed on this channel, LMC-TV, channel 71.
Or if you want to request to see it, you can call LMC-TV after 4 in the afternoon during the week at 698-6808 and ask to see the new show. They'll try to put it on at a time that's convenient for you to watch.
And this reminder, this news program is an all-volunteer effort, and we could use a few more volunteers behind the scenes or as a reporter, or maybe you'd like to shoot video. Whatever the case, we need you.
In short, if you want to volunteer to help us put this program on, we have something for you to do. Stop by some Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios and see how we do what we do.
The LMC-TV studios are in the Mamaroneck High School, the Palmer Avenue side, just up the stairs across from the landmark Walter's hot dog stand. We'll get things started around 7 p.m. and we would love to see you.
Also, if you have any comments or suggestions or some video of an event that you would like us to put on this new show, bring it to the studio or write to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News in care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543.
Thanks again for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven.
And I'm Alyssha. We'll see you next week.